22nd District of Florida. So the CME Group and myself and CNBC welcome you.
Well, it's an honor to be here with the CME Group and yourself, Rick. And, you know, I had to come up from down south because I want to try to open up a Chick-fil-A franchise here in Chicago.
Now, that is a big controversy in the city. And forgetting the issue of what your thoughts are, for example, on gay marriage, doesn't it strike you as a little bit odd that the necessary situation to open up a business in Chicago would pry into the beliefs and mores of the owners? Does this strike you as a bit unusual?
It doesn't when you understand the other side, the liberal side, because free speech is only free if you agree with what they say and what they believe. And that is really the problem that you have right now with the federal government, the invasive and intrusive nature, where they're trying to dictate where a private sector organization can relocate and establish itself. Goes back to the exact same thing you saw with Boeing, where you had the National Labor Relations Board getting engaged there and telling them that they could not move to a right-to-work state. And that's not the America that this great institution here is trying to promote. Free market and private sector.
You know, Congressman, this week we have a Fed meeting, okay? So Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to hear from Ben Bernanke whether he's going to fire up the printing press again and start another quantitative easing program. If I waved a wand and you were the President of the United States...
There'd be a lot of people nervous.
Well, I'm sure there would be. Would Ben Bernanke need to be nervous, I guess, is my question.
Ben Bernanke would absolutely have to be nervous because this quantitative easing thing, you know, where we're trying to print more money, keep the interest rates artificially low. I think we're at 0.25% right now. They want to take that down. We're creating an artificial economy. And it really concerns me when you look at the largest holder of our federal debt, that $16 trillion, is the Federal Reserve. So we're actually printing money to monetize our own debt, which when you look at what happened last week with the Dow going up a little over 13,000, it's because the European Central Bank is saying they're going to do the exact same thing, print money to buy up their debt. That's horrible monetary policy, and that's not how we're going to turn this thing around. And I'm telling you, I'm concerned that we're creating an artificial economy here in the United States.
You know, one of the arguments in Europe is, oh, we can't have austerity because we won't have the money to pay, for example, for all the entitlements, everything holding up society like in Spain. If you had to pick one thing for the freshman congressman that came in with a conservative stamp, being blamed for everything since they've underscored debt and deficits in this country, what would you tell American viewers about those 70-plus congressmen? Are they on the right track or the wrong track?
Well, we're on the right track. When you think about now, Washington, D.C. is not talking about how much more money they can spend. We've got the conversation changed where we're talking about how much we can cut. When you look at the whole thing with this farm bill, since we do a lot of commodities trading here, the farm bill is no longer a farm bill. It's a food stamp bill. In 2002, we had $20.6 billion we were spending per year on food stamps. Today, we're at $75.8 billion. What we're saying is that this is not the America that we want. We've got to get them turned around. And that's why you see freshmen and newly minted members of Congress pushing back on this onerous government spending. 45% increase in food stamps recipients here in the last 3.5 years of the Obama administration. 46-year high for Americans in poverty. 9.3
Real quick,
million.
we're late. Yes or no? Should we raise taxes on anybody, any percentile for the coming up pending legislation being talked about?
No, absolutely not. We need to keep the rates where they are to provide the certainty. What the